Noodles with the perfect bite. They're perfectly salty and savoury and a little bit sweet as well. It's Yasai Yaki Udon. Welcome back to Wok Wednesdays. I'm Jeremy from here in School of Wok, Covent Garden. Yasai Yaki Udon. This one's from my new cookery book, School of Wok, page 180. The first thing I'm going to do is deal with the udon. And these are noodles, fresh noodles, ready to cook. But I do want to separate them out from their sort of packet shape. So to do that, I'm just going to soak them in some hot water. No longer than a minute. You don't want to overcook them. And then once they separate out nicely, I'm going to dunk them in cold water straight away. The reason why I do that is to just separate out my noodles so when it comes to stir frying them, they don't all break up. And then I'm going to pour that out and then we'll cover them with a little bit of sesame oil just so that they keep nice and separate. Now this is a proper Wok Wednesday because it's really quick and easy. All you've got to do is set up your wok clock first of vegetables and your ingredients. You can use whatever veg you want really. I've got the carrot here to start us off. Just nice, fine matchsticks of carrots should do. And some garlic here. Just fine slices will do. And that can go at 12 o'clock on your wok clock. With the spring onion, just want rough sort of chunks of spring onion. And then when you get to the white, slice it in half slightly and then continue with those chunks. I've got half a pepper here. Just gonna just finely slice once again. And we're just following round that round plate, that wok clock of ingredients to keep my stir fry nice and organized. And then some pak choi. Just gonna roll those leaves up and roughly chop into them. And you'll see what I've done, apart from the garlic and spring onion, which was gonna flavor that oil with, the rest goes in order of sort of hardest vegetable first and then follows all the way around my stir fry. You'll find, if you have got the cookbook, that every recipe in the book that needs a wok clock has got a wok clock. Now I've got these sliced, actually pre-sliced shiitake, dried shiitake mushrooms here, and they're gonna go last on my wok clock. And if you like, don't waste the water that they've been soaking in. That's just hot water soaked for about 15 to 20 minutes minimum if it's already sliced. Flavor in that water, so if you want to use it when you're actually using or cooking up the stir fry, keep that water for later. We're gonna make up your sauce. Now, you could use oyster sauce for this, but we're keeping this fully veggie, so I'm gonna use a vegetarian version of oyster sauce, and that's this mushroom stir fry sauce. And that'll start with a real base of savory flavor. Some light soy sauce, and a dark soy sauce, which you don't often use, a tablespoon of, but the idea with this, for the noodles, is to really sort of sift that color through the noodles. Some mirin or sake. Mirin tends to be a bit sweeter, and then the rest of that sesame oil, and either some palm sugar or soft brown sugar to just melt into that sauce and create a bit of a stickiness, again, to wrap around the noodles nice and quickly. Let's get your wok on and get it on a really high heat before you start anything. You want to start with about a tablespoon of vegetable oil, or any high heating oil, sunflower oil, corn oil, just not olive oil or sesame oil. Spring onion and garlic into the wok. And you want to hear that sizzling sound. Never lose your sizzle. Fold that through. You don't want your garlic to catch too much. It'll continue to cook as we go through, so your carrots, your next ingredient on your wok clock, can go in. Give that a quick flick through. Again, with those carrots, they've been really finely matchsticks up, so it doesn't take long at all. Just push that to the back, allow space for your next ingredient, and your peppers can come in. Just stir frying up your veg. Try not to burn it, just go bit by bit. And every time I add a new ingredient to the wok, it'll sort of cool that wok down ever so slightly. So we're flash frying the veg, but not letting it catch, keeping its crunch. I'm just building up heat now, and my shiitake mushrooms can go in, and all this fresh veg. I mean, you could kind of just have a bit of salt and sesame oil in it, and it would be another dish. Noodles coming in next. I'm just going to create a bit of a hole in the middle, ready for my noodles. I'm going to add a little bit of oil at this point, just so that when the noodles hit the wok, they don't sort of stick to the wok. But remember, the sesame oil just spaced it around those noodles themselves as well. And then your noodles can go in, bring the veg over the top of the noodles, like so, and then tummy in the head. Round and round with your spoon, back and forwards with your noodles. Give it a couple of flicks, back on the heat. And we're going to build up heat in between each tummy in the head and flick. Tummy in the head, flick. Build up heat, and then my sauce is going to pour in whilst it's on the heat, on a really high heat. You can see that smoke forming now. My sauce can go round the edge and over the top, and that'll caramelize very quickly. Tummy in the head, tummy in the head, tummy in the head, tummy in the head, flick. And then we'll do the same again every 20 to 30 seconds whilst that heat is building up. Once your noodles have started to absorb all that sauce, that lovely sauce, then they'll stick a little bit at the bottom of the wok. That's a good point where if you are going to use anything like this with the mushroom water or stock, just a little bit around the edges packs a little bit more flavour into the noodles. Same principle applies, let it sizzle, then tummy in the head. You don't want to overcook your noodles, you don't want them to break up and go too soft. And keep their bite, so that is ready. And even though we've got that sort of sugar and that dark soy, these noodles shouldn't stick to the bottom of your wok, no matter what wok you're using, if your heat and that understanding the height of the fire is right. This sort of dish reminds me of my student days. So easy to make, it's so tasty, and it's all from regular ingredients that you can find from any supermarket. Yasai, yaki udon. If you're currently a student or currently studying, what sort of food do you guys cook? Let us know in the comments below.